Good morning. It is 6:53 a.m. on Wednesday, December 14th, 2016. I'm Christiana Ellis. And so I've been puttering around a little bit. This is 5 more minutes. So, yesterday I started playing Final Fantasy 15. I played maybe 2 hours worth, maybe a teensy bit more. Boy, that's a game. That's nonsense to say it like that. Luna, come on, little dog. Look at this little dog. I need to fix my camera settings. The light's all blown out. Are you a good little dog, Luna? Are you barking at nothing? It's okay. You're a good girl. Okay, where was I? Oh, Final Fantasy 15. And being a game, it's interesting. It's made some really specific creative choices that I'm kind of fascinated with. Like I remember back when you know, when some of the first stuff about the story started coming out, and the idea that it's like, oh, it's going to be like a road trip with these four guys. I think a lot of people's reaction was to kind of just assume it's like, oh, we're just going to go back to the idea of a JRPG story with four male characters and no significant female characters, and that immediately doesn't sound great. And I also am going to go ahead and say that I don't know that the only female character so far in the first couple of hours is a mechanic girl with a Daisy Duke accent, and she talks and dresses like a stripper. She doesn't talk like a stripper. She talks like Daisy Duke or whatever. But the short shorts and shirt tied up under her boobs so her belly is visible and all that. So that's not great. But at the same time, it's also clear that when we say this is a road trip with these four guys, like this is not a conventional story where it just so happens that the party members are all guys. It seems like they're really very specifically doing a thing about, like, these guys are just like chatting amongst each other just like constantly, commentary, and they've got like four pretty distinct types for these guys. We've got the little guy who talks too much and makes dumb jokes. We've got the big tough guy. We've got the distinguished and arch sarcastic one, and of course the broody moody prince. And like those are all tropes, but at the same time they go well together. And just some of the music choices and various bits of, like, for example, some of the gameplay mechanics are that you get experience from fighting monsters and stuff, but you can't level up until you make camp. And so when you make camp, all sorts of things happen. One of the guys, for example, anytime you make camp, you can choose to train with the tough guy who kind of he's like the bodyguard of the group. One of the guys prepares a meal, and you can tell him what to prepare, but based on ingredients that you've found or recipes that you've learned, he gives you different meals that will get you buffs, plus 20 attack or something like that for the next day. And the guy talks too much and is always taking pictures of stuff. You can actually review the various pictures he's taken that day and save some of them if you want. And it just really conveys more than I expected, this idea that these are four guys like on this weird like camping road trip. And like when I say they make a meal, I mean that like you choose it, and there's a little mini cutscene of him preparing it, and then you get a really nice like photorealistic image of like this is the meal, and at least the ones that I've seen so far actually look really good. And it's like there's an attention to detail placed on emphasizing that whole road trip atmosphere that I didn't expect, and it's really an interesting creative choice. I'm not far enough into the game yet to draw conclusions about it, but just as far as first impressions go, I'm impressed with some of the creative choices that it's making, less impressed with some of the others. And then there's a couple of mechanical things that just seem awkward as hell, and it's like, I can't believe that's how they actually intended people to do it. And the combat is interesting, but feels very button mashy at the moment. It may be that I'll get the hang of it. We'll see. But it also strikes me as the kind of game, though, where it may be that you don't ever get the hang of it. You just grind enough that you're high enough level that your button mashy tactics are good enough. I don't know. We'll see. But in the meantime, there's some really interesting aspects to it that I think I like a lot. And it'll remain to be seen whether the things that are more awkward about it end up overwhelming those things that are positive. We'll see. Anyway, I will talk to you guys tomorrow for 5 more minutes. So Many Levels returns tonight. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow for 5 more minutes. I said that already. All right.